What's up, guys? Welcome back. So today we're going to be working on this 03 Raptor 660. The bike's actually in really good shape. However, the A-arms, the frame, a lot of the metal parts of the bike are actually rusted pretty bad. This is a bike I'm going to be restoring and selling, so definitely want to clean the frame up, and I'm just going to show you guys what I do. All right, guys, so just to kind of give you an idea, a little close-up on the frame, you can see it's rusted pretty good. I'm not sure if this was like an up north bike or something where there was, snow and it got exposed to salt or what, but pretty rusty. So just gonna have to, go through and wire wheel it. And then I should have a silver that's pretty much exactly the same as this silver that's on here. The shocks will be a little bit tough, but I'm gonna show you guys what I do to touch those up really quick without getting overspray, on the shock itself. You can see in there it's pretty rusty, so it might take us a little bit longer than 30 minutes, now that I really look at it, but either way it's not going to be too bad. All right, guys, so I got my wire wheel here on my drill. I'm going to start wire wheeling the frame just to smooth it out as best I can and try to remove any type of loose paint, get as much rust off as I possibly can. Just got to do as much as I can with this, and then I might have to get in there with like my wire brush or some heavy grit sandpaper and really get it as smooth as I can and get rid of all this flaking off paint. So let's do it. This is probably the worst part of the bike right here, is just the front A-arms and the shocks. Really makes it look like crap, so let's see if we can get some of this off. All right, guys, so the more I look at this, the more I'm realizing I'm going to have to pull this front end apart just to really make it look good, because there's just too much here. Too much needs to be sprayed, and there's too much in the way, so I'm going to have to pull the shocks off, pull the wheels and tires off. This way I could really get in there and tape everything off right, so I don't get any overspray on like the brake lines, you know, or the wheels. We're gonna have to stuff like some paper or something in between the spring and the shock just to make sure we don't get overspray. So it's gonna be way easier and way faster just to disassemble this front end, you know, and do it right. So let's do that. All right, guys, so we got the wheels and tires off. We got the shocks off. So now it'll make it a lot easier when we're gonna go ahead and tape everything off and try to spray paint this thing. We can tape off the brake lines and everything now. So, and then we could also do the shocks separately, which would be a lot easier. So I'm gonna start doing that now. So before we start painting, before we start taping everything off, just gonna go over everything with some brake cleaner just to make sure it's nice and clean and get rid of any type of residue that we could have on there, any oil, grease, dirt, or anything that came from wire wheel in the frame as well. All right, guys, so I got everything taped off that I'm worried about getting paint on, mainly just the brake lines and tie rods and stuff like that. I had an old bed sheet, so I threw that over the motor near the frame where I'm gonna be spraying. And then I just threw some of that plastic over the back on the swing arm. So I'm gonna try to spray the axle as well since it's real rusty. I've got this high performance enamel. It's like a silver aluminum color. Just gonna test it on a spot and just see how it looks, see how close it is compared to the stock color. Probably not gonna show up too good on the camera, but let's see. Yeah, it looks pretty dang close. It's a hair brighter. Yeah, it's a little bit brighter than the stock color. Let's see if I got something a little bit darker. All right, so I found a different shade of silver. I think this is gonna be a little closer. Get a dang sprayer to work, right? Let's just see. Yeah, that's pretty dang close. Again, it's gonna be hard to show on the camera, but it looks a lot closer. So I guess we'll roll with that. All right, guys, so the last one didn't work. The spray nozzle was like messed up. There was no pressure coming out of it. So this is like spot on, but problem is I only have a little bit. So we'll see how far this goes. All right, guys, so just finished up. I got a little bit of overspray in places where I didn't want, so I'm just gonna take some brake cleaner and get off the overspray that's not supposed to be where it's not supposed to be. Overall, looks a lot better, a lot cleaner. I'm gonna go over the bolts too and get the spray paint off of those. I like those just to look, you know, like they did before. Just doesn't look like everything's just been spray painted. So just gotta touch it up a little bit, clean it up, but looks a lot better. No more rust. Came out pretty good. I tried to get these as best I could. It's kind of hard to kind of get back in there and tuck the sheet back in there, but did as best as I could. Sprayed them all up. So A-arms look a lot better. I got a little overspray there, so I gotta get that off. But yeah. All right, so I was gonna try to throw some paper behind the spring, but there just wasn't enough room. There was just too much, it was just too tight around the shock. So I had to use some spring compressors here, pull the spring off, pull the top off, and then now at least we can really get to cleaning the shock and we can respray the spring. So it's probably for the best that we're gonna do it the right way. All right, guys, so I got the springs sprayed. They're drying now. Just kind of hung them from my garage door. So much for 30 minutes. It's turned into like a huge project, but I'd rather have it, you know, look right than have it look janky and, you know, like we just spray painted everything. So just take a little extra time and, you know, it ends up being worth it. The final product turns out a lot better. So I'm gonna let these dry for a little bit, and then I'll probably end up tomorrow putting everything back together. I'm gonna go clean off all the overspray, and then tomorrow we can just put everything back together, put the wheels and tires on, and we should be good to go. All right, guys, so we got it pretty much done. Put it all back together. Shocks came out okay. They were a little messed up, but at least the springs aren't rusted anymore. Frame came out really good. You know, no more rust there, so pretty happy with that. You know, again, not perfect, but compared to what it was, man, night and day. Painted the axle as well because that was all rusty. Just touch up there. I think I'm gonna touch the motor up too. I think I have a gray, like a darker gray that should match that pretty well. So gotta do an oil change. But yeah, either way, just a lot cleaner than it was before. I threw some plastic renew on the plastics as well to shine those up. touched up the bars. I bought some new grips as well because these white ones are just kind of dirty. So I got some pro tapers, so those should look really good. But yeah, overall, a lot better. Definitely didn't take me 30 minutes. It took me a little bit longer than that, a couple hours, but, you know, worth it because the bike looks a lot better now. So, you know, again, if you guys like the content, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.